Hello citizens of the world. In this video we gonna see what is penetration testing, security audits, Pentest approaches, and many more. This is going to be a big series of penetration testing. Before we start, let's understand what is penetration testing. Penetration testing, also known as pen testing or ethical hacking, is a method of assessing the security of a computer system, network, or web application by simulating an attack from a malicious outsider or insider. The objective of penetration testing is to identify vulnerabilities that could be exploited by attackers before they can be exploited in a real attack. This helps organizations to understand the weaknesses in their security measures and take steps to address them. Penetration testing can be conducted in various ways, including automated tools and manual techniques, and can cover a range of potential attack vectors such as social engineering, network and web application attacks, and exploitation of system vulnerabilities. Penetration testing is usually carried out by trained and certified professionals who have the necessary technical expertise and ethical standards to identify vulnerabilities and provide recommendations for remediation. This was about penetration testing. Now let's see what are its security audits. The security audits contains vulnerability assessment, assets, threats, and last one is risk. Now let's see each security audits in detail. The first one is vulnerability. In the context of computer security, a vulnerability refers to a weakness or flaw in a system or application that could be exploited by an attacker to compromise the security of the system or gain unauthorized access to data or resources. Vulnerabilities can exist in hardware, software, or in the design of a system or network. They can be introduced during the development process, or they can be the result of changes to the system over time. Examples of common vulnerabilities include software bugs, misconfigured systems, weak passwords, and unpatched software or operating systems. It is important for organizations to identify and address vulnerabilities in their systems in a timely manner to prevent them from being exploited by attackers. The second one is vulnerability assessment. Vulnerability assessment is the process of identifying, assessing, and prioritizing potential vulnerabilities in a system, network, application, or other IT assets. The primary objective of a vulnerability assessment is to identify vulnerabilities that could be exploited by an attacker to gain unauthorized access or cause damage to the system. Once vulnerabilities have been identified, the next step is to assess their potential impact and prioritize them based on their severity and the level of risk they pose. The third one is assets. In the context of cybersecurity, assets refer to any valuable resource that needs to be protected from unauthorized access, theft, or damage. Data assets can include sensitive information such as personal identifiable information, PII, financial information, health information, and confidential business information. Information systems assets can include servers, databases, applications, and network infrastructure. Software assets can include operating systems, applications, and other software used by the organization. Hardware assets can include physical devices such as computers, servers, routers, switches, and other network equipment. Protecting these assets is critical for maintaining the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information, ensuring business continuity, and avoiding legal and financial penalties associated with data breaches and cyber attacks. This is why cybersecurity is a critical component of any organization's risk management strategy. The fourth one is threats. In cybersecurity, a threat refers to any potential danger or malicious act that can compromise the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of information systems or data. Threats can come in various forms and may originate from both internal and external sources. Some common examples of cyber threats include malware, phishing, denial of service, insider threats, advanced persistent threats, APTs, zero-day exploits. It is essential for organizations to be aware of these and other types of cyber threats and to implement security measures to protect against them. The last one is risk. In cybersecurity, risk refers to the potential harm or loss that can occur as a result of a cybersecurity incident. Risk is typically assessed by identifying potential threats and vulnerabilities to an organization's information systems and data. Risk management is an ongoing process, and it is essential for organizations to regularly assess and update their risk management strategies to adapt to new and emerging cyber threats. This was about security audits. Now let's see what are some approaches of being penetration tester that he or she should know about the system. The penetration test approaches include black box testing, white box testing, and gray box testing. Let's see each one in detail. Black box testing is a type of penetration testing that involves simulating an attack on a system or network from the perspective of an external attacker who has no prior knowledge of the system's internal workings. This means that the tester does not have any access to the system's source code or other sensitive information and must rely on publicly available information to identify vulnerabilities. White box testing, also known as clear box testing or transparent box testing, is a type of penetration testing that involves simulating an attack on a system or network from the perspective of an insider or someone with authorized access to the system's internal workings. White box testing is valuable because it provides an internal perspective on the security of the system or network, simulating the actions of a malicious insider or someone with privileged access who may be able to exploit vulnerabilities that an external attacker cannot. Gray box testing is a type of penetration testing that combines elements of both black box testing and white box testing. In gray box testing, the tester has some limited knowledge of the system or network being tested, but not full access to its internal workings. The tester will typically use a combination of automated tools and manual techniques to identify weaknesses and assess the effectiveness of existing security controls. In the next video, we will see what are the plans and phases to perform the penetration testing.